Hey there, and welcome back to the Front Range. I am the dad, and I am old. My usual co-pilot, my daughter, who is young, will not be with me today. She had some prior engagements, and this is really a quick video. Anyways, I'm just going to be reacting to the new teaser trailer that dropped for Godzilla Minus Zero. Now, I know it's a short teaser, and usually I wouldn't necessarily do a reaction to this, but I'm a huge Godzilla fan from the time I was a little kid. So and I was a fan of the last one. So I'm going to jump into the teaser right now, and then kind of on the other side of it, give my thoughts, and then just a little bit about my Godzilla history. All right, let's take a look.
If their operation fails, maybe we'll finally get to use it.
Abort third drop. Repeat. Abort third drop.
A new threat. Oh, there they are. There he is. Ho, 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 ho. In IMAX. Wow. All right. Well, there it was. Not a whole lot there. Obviously, the big reveal. Maybe some people knew. I did not know. But showing the Statue of Liberty, obviously, Godzilla's coming to New York. And let's hope it's a little better than the 1998 Godzilla that came to New York. The previous film, Godzilla Minus One, 3 years ago, phenomenal Godzilla film. Quite possibly my favorite Godzilla film of all time. Just a little background, my son and I've been a huge Godzilla fan since I was a kid. I'm Gen X, and I remember there was a movie theater that you could go to on Saturdays. Well, actually, I think there were multiple days in the summers, is when parents could pay. I don't know what it was, but you would go there for like 4 or 5 hours, and basically it was just like Lord of the Flies, kids running around, and you got like a popcorn and a hot dog and a soda, like for that whatever the fee. And I just remember they would always play the like 1960s, 1970s Godzilla films during those, whatever kids camp, movie camp, whatever they called it. And that's really where I fell in love with it. And then obviously on TV, on Sundays, I feel like they would have either kung fu movies or sometimes there'd be kaiju or Godzilla movies. And so I fell in love with them. And then my son fell in love with Godzilla from the time he was like 5 years old. And he's a Godzilla file. Like he knows every film, the dates, the whole thing. But yeah, I thought the last film, obviously, the information that came out about that film with them doing it on a budget of, I want to say it was under 20 million, which is insane when you really think of what movie budgets are these days and what they accomplished in that film, which they kept the balance. A lot of Godzilla films, they make the mistake sometimes of focusing too heavily one direction or the other. This though, Godzilla Minus One, what I really loved about it was a great film. Like if you took Godzilla out of it, don't do that. But there was a compelling story behind it, and even the story of the reconstruction of Japan after World War II. And there was a mea culpa in a lot of ways in that film that you don't see a lot in Japanese culture. And I'm half Japanese, so I'm very aware of this. They looked at things like the whole concept of kamikaze pilots and how he was treated when he returned. He hadn't fulfilled his mission. And some of these things were looked at through a prism that I don't remember really seeing in other Japanese films. Just kind of questioning a lot of the things that Japan did in World War II. So, that in itself, it was a compelling film. And then obviously kind of the story of the, makeshift family that formed because of the tragic circumstances was very compelling as well, and it pulled at the heartstrings. Then with all that, you had a Godzilla film, a great Godzilla film with a great Godzilla. And then you even had that crew that came together of kind of misfits with the protagonist and the people around him. So that film was great, and so I've really been looking forward to it. I know other Godzilla fans have been looking forward to this film coming out. Obviously, it'll be more. I never want a trailer to give away too much. Obviously, that was just a teaser. It was never going to give away much more than just seeing that Godzilla looks fantastic, that Godzilla's coming to New York. There was the whole thing. We did revisit our characters are back. The little girl, the adopted mother who, we saw at the end of the last one. She has a piece of Godzilla or something in her neck that we're not sure what repercussions that's going to have. And then obviously we have the protagonist that looks like he's flying again. He's a pilot, and that was ended with him flying obviously against Godzilla in the last movie. So whatever that was going on there, I'll have to watch it again. But whatever was going on there with debris in the sky and everything else, that was interesting as well. So, and I believe I've heard there are other kaiju that are going to be in this movie. So obviously there's that's going to be interesting to see which ones they have. But I'm excited. I'll always be excited really for a Godzilla film. And it's great that we have had other iterations like Shin Godzilla. I thought was a great reimagining of Godzilla. I thought they did a great job. But of course, again, and even that one was very took a hard look at Japanese ways of thinking, like in a crisis, and didn't look too kindly on the overly structured way that sometimes Japanese society and government and bureaucracies deal with things. So it was interesting that both those films had looked at Japanese society or components of Japanese society in a way that wasn't necessarily, it was being critical of them. Let's call it what it is. But anyways, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Godzilla. So excited to see it. Hope you guys are too. Thanks for joining me. We new channel here. We do TV shows, we do movies, we do trailers, we do music, we do all kinds of things. Ren Fair content. So if you want to see what we're up to, hit the little subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. If not, I'm just glad you joined me for this, and I hope you have a great day.